Hey YouTube! We recently got a hold of Samsung's Galaxy S6 Edge, and the first thing we did with it was take it apart. First things first, we're going to use our trusty blow dryer to remove the back cover from the device. We're going to heat it for a little over a minute, making sure not to heat any one side for too long. And if you really want to remove everything, you can even remove that little cover that was